Administrator Zeldin also announced he will be shutting down a museum that the Biden administration built to tell a selective story about the EPA's history and climate change. It was a real pat on the back to President Biden. And guess how much American taxpayers paid for it? $4 million for this museum that I think only 1,000 visitors saw last year alone. And it will cost American taxpayers $600,000 per year to operate this museum. Well, it's not going to exist anymore.
Well, there you have it. Heaping praise. Joining us now, the aforementioned EPA Administrator, my old friend Lee Zeldin. She loves you, Lee Zeldin. I mean, now you can just do no wrong with Caroline Leavitt. Tell us about closing down this EPA museum, which, for heaven's sakes, deserves to be closed.
Absolutely. Almost nobody visited it. And as Caroline eloquently pointed out today, you had about $4 million spent to build it, $600,000 annually with this cost. And last night I was doing an interview with Laura Ingraham, and we started the interview looking at this one part of the museum where there was a timeline, and it just skips over the first Trump presidency as if it didn't even exist. It's important for us to be responsible stewards of tax dollars, and whether it has been the grants that we've canceled into the tens of billions, or we're going to be able to save millions or thousands, whatever we can save for the American taxpayer, we're going to pursue it.
Well, spot on. Last night, I was talking about you. 31, let me see if I get this right. 31 rule changes in one day at EPA. That's probably a world record, Lee Zeldin. 31. I was doing a deregulation riff and how important that is, and people aren't giving it enough. Now, you did this a couple weeks ago. 31 rule changes in a single day. Can you just review the bidding on that? Because I hope folks understand and appreciate what you've been doing.
Well, to give a picture of scale and scope here, we're talking about the largest deregulatory action in the history of the country. There's never been a bigger deregulatory action than what was announced 3 weeks ago tomorrow. And over the course of the last 4 years, the Biden administration was strangulating the economy, seeking to close down industries wholesale across the board, punishing a lot of Americans who can least afford it. So the consequence of us pursuing what will be trillions of dollars of money saved, trillions of dollars saved here for Americans, is that the cost of living is going to go down. It will become cheaper to heat your home, to purchase a car. We will be creating new jobs, a lot of jobs inside of the auto sector. We will be fulfilling President Trump's promise and his mandate that the American public voted for last November. Now, when people dig into it, they'll hear of acronyms like Clean Power Plan, Quad OBC, MATS. And as you look at each individual rule, they were targeting particular industries. What we want to do is, get this, protect the environment and grow the economy. We believe we can do both.
Well, a lot of the Biden stuff didn't really have anything to do with protecting the environment. It had to do with their, radical Green New Deal climate change stuff. I mean, protecting the environment is very important. President Trump's in favor of protecting the environment, but this stuff had nothing to do with that. I mean, power plants, oil and gas, EVs, wastewater. I mean, what did EVs have to do with protecting the environment, for heaven's sakes? And I mean, let's be honest. There's nothing wrong. People want to buy an electric vehicle. That's fine. I don't have any problem with that. Electric vehicle is fine. The leading electric vehicle maker is Tesla, if they'd stop bombing the Tesla cars. But the point is, nobody's arm should be twisted to do it. And let's be serious. To do these things, to excavate the minerals, to make the batteries, you're going to release a lot of carbon in the air. And let's also be serious. Because of natural gas, our carbon numbers are the best in the world, or the best of the industrialized countries. See what I'm saying? That's all different than protecting the environment. I mean, yes, we want to do that, but who are they kidding? And you're knocking them all out.
Amen, amen, amen. Over the course of the last couple decades, emissions have gone down. Innovation is up. We produce energy cleaner than so many other countries around the world.
Yeah.
President Trump talks about clean, beautiful coal, new pipelines for natural gas transport, and so much more. And choice. As you pointed out, listen, if somebody wants to go out and purchase an electric vehicle, that could be their choice. But just because one person wants to get an EV doesn't mean that the rest of us shouldn't be able to acquire gas-powered vehicles. And by the way, as the administrator of the EPA, I would say it's very environmentally unfriendly for these leftists to go around bombing all of these electric vehicles at these locations. It's actually quite dangerous. And the last thing I'll say to your point is that in the name of climate change, in the name of environmental justice, they haven't been seeking all of this funding to remediate environmental issues. They've been using these terms and these ideas to send tens of billions of dollars to left-wing activist groups, to send it to their friends through self-dealing, conflicts of interest, and unqualified recipients.
Self-dealing, you betcha, you betcha. You know, ladies, just the last point. They tried to shut down natural gas. Natural gas is a clean-burning fuel. Even the greenies in the European Union have acknowledged that natural gas. One of the reasons why our carbon emissions are low is because natural gas is high. And I think you can add nuclear to that. I don't have any problem with nuclear myself. The greenies hate nuclear. But natural gas is so important. And the Bidens tried to shut that down by closing the spigots on oil and gas production.
Right, and there are new pipeline applications that Democratic governors, we've seen this in New York time and again, they've tried to shut down these new pipelines that are much safer to be able to transport energy. And the Democratic governors who have been advocating against natural gas pipelines, they are talking about wind as if that intermittent source is a substitute for baseload power. There's no way that they're going to be able to hit their Green New Deal climate goals without being able to lean into these other forms of energy. It's good for our economy, for our environment, for our national security. President Trump knows it. He gets it. He campaigned on it, and now he's delivering.
You know, Lee, I just got 30 seconds. I love talking to you. You know that. It's a long playing record. But look, you mentioned New York, okay? Then Governor Andrew Cuomo had a chance to save the New York economy, and he flubbed it. He wouldn't allow the fracking. He wouldn't allow the pipelining. He could have saved the economy of New York, which is, for all the money New York legislature spends, the economy is still a mess. I mean, it falls squarely on his shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can't forget the past. Banning the safe extraction of natural gas has cost the New York economy tremendously. Constitution Pipeline, Nessie Pipeline, not approving all these new pipeline applications ended up hurting the New York economy, the loss of jobs. It's higher to be able to afford to heat your home. And New Yorkers get faced with the choice of either heating their home, filling up their groceries, or getting prescription drugs. And you know what they say? I'm done. I'm out. And when these people leave New York, they're not going to come back.
Yep.
So instead of New Yorking and Californiaing the rest of this country, President Trump gets it. He wants to reverse it. He's standing up, and God bless him for running again with all the incoming that he's faced. It's an honor to be in the foxhole with him.
Okay, it's great. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, terrific stuff. Can't thank you enough. Appreciate it.